Wanna help the channel? Click on the affiliate links in the description for Amazon products. Hello guys, once again it's Matt, and today we're going to have a look at another dogfight. Kind of a historical one, not really, but yeah. Make sure to subscribe and click the like button. And tell me in the comments what else you want to see. So we have the MiG-23MF against the F-4F. So East Germany versus West Germany, so pretty cool in general. In this first couple of dogfights, we are using basically the old loadouts, historical loadouts basically. So the F-4F is only using the AIM-9F, which is the AIM-9FGW something, and we are using the R3Ss. So we made a 2-turn there, and just a normal dogfight, just to start to know how they feel. At start you can see that it can turn pretty well against each other in certain situations, especially with the MiG-23 not fully opened the wings. Once you open all the wings, you basically have a very large advantage. I was scared of a head-on there. The Vulcan is always pretty complicated to fight with. Try to not sleep while turning. But in general, you can see that the MiG-23 has a little bit of advantage in the sustained turn range. Of course, the R3S is not sufficient, but we got him with the guns. So we have another one with the R3Ss. But in general, you can see that you're going to end up seeing that the MiG-23 in general is a pretty good dogfighter when the wings are fully opened, as you saw on the last video yesterday. But you have to be careful because it takes a while to the wings actually open a little bit. So yeah, you have to be careful with that. Another advantage that the MiG has is of course the ability to have a very good radar compared to the F-4F. It has a very bad radar, the F-4, compared to the superior semi-pulse Doppler radar of the MiG-23. And as you see, I slowed it down a little bit, and then I managed to actually get into the sweet spot of the turn of the MiG-23. In general, you're going to see that the F-4F has a very good instantaneous turn, and the MiG-23 has a very good continuous turn. So you're going to see that the more my friend there takes to actually get me, the more time that I have to actually get him. So he has to be able to fight me in the first couple of circle turns. If not, this happens. He was completely out of energy and he died. So yeah, another one with the R3Ss and the AIM-9Bs. But in general, this is the gun dogfight situation because the missiles are too bad for use in a dogfight. But as you're going to see, the F-4F needs, or in general any F-4, especially, I mean, the ones that don't have the slats or are too heavy or something, you can disconsider this. But the ones that you actually have the slats and are light, like the F-4F is the lightest one, and together with the slats it can turn a lot, but instantaneously after the slats open, and basically you're losing a lot of speed and you lose a lot of energy. Another kill. This is the normal occurrence of the battles. So I was not actually doing anything. I was actually winning every single battle. Here we have a semi-historical one in the middle 70s. So we have two R-23s. We cannot use any other missiles because they didn't have it. And the F-4F is using the R3Ss. I fired them both from far away, from past 10 kilometers, so that my friend cannot see them. And as you see, pretty effective, right? So this is the way to use radar-guided missiles, best way to use it. My friend there is going to get a little bit more smart as the battles continue to favor me. But in general, this is, divide them in two categories. So the F-4F, it's a pretty good dogfighter. It's pretty light, has a very good instantaneous turn, very good power. The engines are pretty strong, but you have another problem. It doesn't have basically doesn't have BVR, of course, The missiles are alright, but for top tier they're not the best. They don't have a all aspect or anything like that. And it can be a little bit heavy after a while, even though it's the lightest version of the F4 in game. Still very heavy compared to the MiGs 21 and 23. So in general, even if you have the instantaneous turn, watch out for continuous dogfighting. Try to run away if you're in a F4, okay? And then just try to maintain the distance from the MiGs, okay? Normally MiG pilots don't use the manual mode as I'm doing right now, which makes the F-4F a little bit better because it's a little bit simpler to use in general. It's more user friendly than the MiG-23 because of the wings. But as you see here, the MiG-23 is just completely destroying the F-4F. So yeah, it's complicated, guys. It's complicated. But the strong points, of course, of the MiG-23 are the BVR missiles, the better radar. The RWR is a little bit worse than the F4, but still it's alright. In general, you have better missiles, so you have 2 R-23Rs or 2 R-23Ts, which are pretty good missiles, and 4 R-60Ms. So yeah, pretty good. These are the strong points of the MiG, together with the sustained turn, as you saw in yesterday's video. The MiG-23 has a very cool video. And this battle I was using the automatic wing. Oh no, it's not the one yet. But in general, you have a lot more sustained turn. Look at that. The F-4F just got me basically because of the... Yeah, I broke my wing. I don't know how, but yeah, basically the F4 was going to get me because he instantaneous turn, used the energy that he had, and just got me. So you have to be fast. If you're using the F4, try to be fast, okay? But yeah, basically the idea of the MiG-23 is you have a problem with, of course, the instantaneous turn, but with the sustained turn you can actually get the guys. So just try to evade the fire. The more you can, the better. Here he's using the M9Js and I'm using the R60Ms. Even though the flares was out, I got him anyway. But yeah, I mean, I don't want to favor an aircraft, but the F4 is just a very old design in general. So the MiG-23 is a much more modern design in general, and this makes the MiG-23 a lot better in dealing with problems in general. As you see, the radar is not as good as the MLD, but it's still pretty good, the radar in general. You have a lot of ground clutter. It's not a fully pulsed operator, but still pretty good. He was pre-flaring, pre-chafing because of the missiles and stuff. Here we have a very long dogfight. Just go for the loop to maintain the speed. And I wasn't able to actually shoot the R-23 here, so keep an eye out on the difference that it makes. I was winning almost every battle, and this happens when you are much heavier than the enemy. And I think my friend was using minimum fuel as well. I don't remember exactly, but if I'm not mistaken, he was using minimum fuel, which makes the F4 even lighter, and the difference is even heavier. Look at that, the turn of the enemy. Even though I'm pulling as hard as I can in a loop, he always maintains the inner circle. So, and that's because of the lightness of the aircraft. He can maintain the instantaneous turn for a little bit more than before, you know. Now you can see that he's losing a lot of speed, so he took too much time to kill me, and now he's losing speed. And I'm maintaining the speed that I had before, 700, 600. Something like that. Wings fully opened. I could use some flaps here to help me out on the top side of the loop, but as you see, he just doesn't have the energy to maintain what I was doing. Of course, I completely missed the target, but you can see that the F4 is completely out of energy. It's stalling out basically, and the MiG-23 just goes and goes and all around, goes for the loop, and just doesn't wanna give up. Okay, so in a MiG-23, as I always say, try to do the loop, It's the same principle as the MiG-15 against the Saber, basically. And yeah, you still have to be careful, but you have the energy retention on high speeds and low speeds, and basically every single thing after a while. Therefore, just loses a lot of energy. There's nothing that you can do in a 4 if you take too much time against the MiG-23. Here I think I was using the auto mode on the wings. I don't know exactly, but in general, don't do this that I'm doing in a normal battle. Don't fire 2 missiles together like this. I was doing that just to increase the chance of hitting it, but because I knew that I was going into a dogfight. In normal gameplay, I was never going to do that. The missiles missed. Then I was trying to get a lock on the R60, didn't work. It's the normal mode, it's not the auto mode. Then just a loop, and he, as you see, he turns pretty well in the beginning. Had to be careful there to not get killed, basically. Remember, the MiG-23M is an MF. They're the same aircraft in game. Yeah, he got me. So as you see, if he has a higher altitude than me, so he can maintain the speed advantage, the energy advantage, basically. It just means that the F4 has the advantage and will get you, because the instantaneous turn is a little bit better than the MiG-23. Because, like I said before, it takes a while so that the aircraft actually opens the wings itself and stuff like that. It turned, completely missed the R-23s. If you ask me why am I not using the R-23Ts, they're just not worth it in a 1v1, basically. I have the ARC systems, so yeah. He got me again in instantaneous turn. Take a look at the amount of turn that he could pull before me in that situation. So there you can see there is a lot of energy gained, just because turning energy, just because I had to open my wings before and stuff like that. So you have to be careful, okay? Here again, R-23. In this part of the video, I'm using every single tactic. Fire a first missile so that I could turn, and the second missile got him. So I predicted that he would turn inside it because he was doing that a lot. I just fired the missile a little bit early to the middle so that he had the energy to get the target. As you see, the R-23 is not a bad missile. It just doesn't have the late energy to get the target like the R-24 and the AIM-7F, but still pretty good missile. Like I said, I still prefer to use the R-23 over the AIM-7E, the normal version. I seem to get a lot more hits than in the Sparrow in general. I don't know, maybe it's the... almost got him. Maybe it's because American players like to fly high, but yeah, look at him. He's already turning. He's already on me, basically, and I'm in half turn. He even fired the missile. So yeah, I was not using flares there because I was trying to do basically a realistic loadout. The MF never used, could use, but I don't think he ever used this type of flare pod. Only maybe the SPS 141 and the ML and MLA received the top one with 60 flares. But yeah, after he loses the energy, I try to use the flash, but I effed it up. Continues the turn, continues the loop as always. Every time kinda making sure that the missiles are always ready, you know. And kill. So as I said, he didn't have the energy to get me, and this is the last battle that I recorded, just to show that the F-4F is really not on par with the MiG-23. In general, the aircraft, there's no aircraft that can be comparable to the MiG-23 right now. Only the vegan in some situations, and maybe the F-4 Kai, but not in the dogfight, just because they have a really good radar. But yeah, it's not the greatest. The MiG-23 is just amazing. And to show actually that the MiG-23MF is nothing different from the M. Still an amazing aircraft, still one of the best aircraft in game. It's still pretty good, but yeah, out of, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. After 13, 14 battles, I lost 2 or 3, and I won like 9 or 10 or 11 of them. So yeah, to show that the MiG-23 has kind of every advantage over the F-4F, only losing it on the BVR section and BVR no, only on the instantaneous turn. Okay, so yeah, this is it guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe and click the like button, and leave it in the comments what else you want to see. I have some pretty interesting ideas coming up. Okay, see ya guys, I hope this was helpful.